Hi, I'm Pete,
And I'm Joey.
and we're here to play Moonstone by Goblin King Games.
Yeah, Goblin King Games, a small company out of the United Kingdom, just won a couple of awards for this fantastic minigame.
Yeah.
Just a little bit about it. It is a 2 to 4 player skirmish game. It uses 12 models, so entry isn't that hard to get painted and put on the board. Today we're going to be playing 2 players, so that means we each get 6, but you play with 4 for 3 players and
3 for 4.
3 for 4.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice and easy.
Can't beat it.
All right, so we'll start by dropping our Moonstones on the board. Figure out where everything's going to go. So we start by dropping 7 d4s on the board, and wherever they land, their value is the top number on the die. Shift this cock die.
Perfect. Yeah, and the whole goal of the game is to collect the most Moonstones at the end.
Each player has an opportunity to mulligan if they don't like the way that the stones have dropped. I'm okay with the way this is set up. How about you?
I think it's good. Central, we'll both be in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
Force
all the conflict. Yeah, absolutely. All right, you want to roll off?
Perfect. So we roll a d6. This is to see who gets initiative or who is the early bird, and we'll explain that once we get there.
So, because I won the roll off, I will be the early bird, which means I get to choose which board edge I'd like to deploy from and deploy my first model first. It's alternating activation, but also alternating deployment in this game. So I'm going to choose... I'll choose this board edge, which will force Joey to choose that board edge.
Perfect.
And we will start deploying. We have up to 10 inches from the board edge to deploy our models. So I think the first one I'm going to deploy, drop Zoria right here next to this Moonstone.
Beautiful. All right, and I'm playing the fairies today, so that changes my strategy a little bit because these models in particular aren't that great at harvesting these Moonstones. They're tiny little bugs. So I'll go ahead and start with Diana.
Quite big. The Wendigo. Right in the water.
Right in the water.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to put Noel on the cliff.
So, certain characters are better at carrying the Moonstones than others. Each character, based on all their stats on their card, some are better to kind of stand back and throw magic spells at other players. Some are better at getting in the fray and fighting. Some are better at just grabbing the Moonstones and running off the edge of the board.
Right. And some don't even really bother with the rest of it. Like my fairies, they really like to be together and play tricks on the other player to try and confuse them and stay alive until the end, hopefully picking up the rest of the Moonstones along the way.
Over here, we're going to do clouds.
Okay. Kind of like I just said, I'm going to keep my fairies together. I will put Foxglove right over here.
Drop Revenant up on the cliff. You can go meet Noel.
He's going to meet Noel. Perfect. Silvertongue's going to hang out in this little troop of fairies.
And then I think we're going to keep Callisto over here.
Alright. And then behind this little house here goes Belladonna. And the last one.
Alright. Bard and Klaus.
Whatever, he's going to stack right up behind it. Now we're deployed.
Yes.
Alright, so I put my fairies kind of in a group over here. They like to be together. Strength in numbers with these ones.
Yep.
Also, I have an ability on Diana here who likes to kind of take health from her fairy coven. Noel, on the other hand, really likes to be by himself. He gets benefits from being away from other models at the end of each night.
Yeah, and over here, I've got a situation here where I have Lubard, who is a giant, and like most giants and trolls in the game, he has a huge health pool and kind of hits like a truck. However, Lubard's problem is that he's unable to really move very far unless he stays within range of another model. So I've positioned him next to Klaus, who is my other main melee character. And then over here I have my 2 support characters are going to kind of hang back, cast some spells. I have the Wendigo, who's actually in the water, because most models in Moonstone suffer a movement penalty when they traverse water features. However, Wendigo is one of the few that is able to walk through them unhindered. So he'll be going after this one Moonstone that landed in the river. And then I put the Revenant up on the hill because I don't want Noel to be by himself.
Perfect. So, ready to start the first?
Yeah, and that's over to you.
All right.
Since you have the initiative, since I deployed first, that means you get to choose who goes first.
I will choose the you go first. Again, I want my fairies to kind of play a little bit more of a reactive game.
Totally.
So,
okay.
Work with what you've got.
So, for my first move, the first thing usually that any character will do is everybody gets a jog action, which is totally free. And that allows any character to move up to 4 inches. So I'm going to start up here with the Revenant. He's going to jog. Should put energy out.
Right. We did forget that.
We did forget that. So let's just backtrack it here. Yeah, so typically at the beginning of the game, you'll dump gems. We usually like to put them on top of the card, indicating how much energy each model has. Every single activity that any model can undergo requires some energy. Typically, once the game has begun, this process happens at the end of the activation.
Mine are making quite a bit of noise right now, but that's okay. You don't necessarily have to use gems. We just like to because it bumps the aesthetic of this game, which is something that really caught my eye when I started doing it. It has this whimsical fantasy aspect of it. And I just wanted to keep it along those same lines with the energy tokens, because you play with these a lot. It's the entire action economy of the game. You can go ahead while I still try and replenish my energy over here.
So first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to select my first model to go. This is an alternating activation game. So I'm going to choose the Revenant to go first. And usually the way that you open most turns is by taking a free jog action, which is a 4-inch move. It does not have to be in a straight line. It can be broken up. And once he's jogged, that is the last of his free actions. So everything that he does from here on will require some energy. I think the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to try, maybe just for this turn, spend it with a little walking. So I'm actually going to spend 1 energy to step, which is a 1-inch move. I'll spend another energy to step 1 more time. And then I'm actually going to leave the Revenant with 1 energy on him. There are a few situations throughout the game in which it's worthwhile to keep an energy even after you've activated. He will not get another chance to activate this turn, but there may be some situations where he may need an energy to defend himself against somebody else.
Right. And that's hugely important because the Revenant starts with 3 energy?
3.
Correct?
Yep.
Whereas my fairies have upwards of 5 to 6 per each. So it changes how you play a little bit, and you can find a troop that really fits your play style. But that one that you saved, reaction step, or going for it.
Correct.
So we'll go over those things in a little bit later as we get there. But sometimes it is advantageous to save energy instead of burning it all right up the front, especially at the start of the game.
Yeah, turn 1, rarely do you need all of your energy.
Right. So my turn now. We are going to activate Belladonna. So we're going to take my jog action. 4 inches front to front. And I have a lot of energy to burn here. No one's really here. Perfect. So, 4 inches of movement will cost me 4 energy. And I'm going to do the same thing and save that last one.
Good move. All right, next I think I will activate Callista. Or no, actually I'll do Zoria. So Zoria is actually in base contact with a Moonstone with a depth of 1. The depth of the Moonstone is, as I said before, the top number on the D4. So this Moonstone being 1 inch deep, or 1 foot deep, will require her to burn 1 energy to harvest the Moonstone. So she will pick it up. I'll place it on her card just so that way Joey and I both know who has the Moonstone. And now she will move on with her activation. We'll start with her jog step. So she'll jog 4 inches forward.
But she's carrying a Moonstone.
Oh, you're right.
So.
That's right. Yeah, so when a character is carrying a Moonstone, they're only able to jog 2 inches. Because Moonstones are not very light.
They're very precious. You don't want to drop them.
That's it. Let's just want to check and make sure she is within 8 inches. So I'm actually going to cast Visions of the Future.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to cast this an active ability. So I'm going to spend 2 energy to use Zoria's active ability, which is called Visions of the Future. It's 8-inch range, and you can use it once per turn. And essentially what it is target other friendly character immediately suffers 1 catastrophe printed on their card. So on everyone's card who has an arcane ability, there's something called a catastrophe, where usually something bad happens to the caster of the spell. It's basically a blunder while they're casting their spell. So Zoria's gimmick is that she can force just about anybody on the board to suffer 1 catastrophe on their card if she chooses. Oh, can I see her card? Or Belladonna's card, I should say.
You may.
Just so I can check the catastrophes. I'm actually going to choose the one from Acid Flask, which states that she will suffer 2 wounds.
Thank you. The other catastrophe on this card, and why he did not select it, is that the target and my character are both slain.
Yeah, so I would have lost Zoria and my Moonstone.
Right. And on the bottom of each of the characters' cards, you have a health pool. It also denotes the amount of energy that they have. We like to mark them off on the card just so that you remember exactly how much health they have left. And with those 2 wounds, I'm actually going to lose an energy come next turn. Anything else for her?
No, that's it for her. She is all out of energy.
Okay.
That's over to you.
Sounds good to me. We are going to make a move with Butterfingers. Let's get him moved up into the fray. So that's my jog action, the 4 inches. Then I think I have to move a little bit more, without a doubt. So I'll spend another 3 energy to take 3 inches worth of movement. I'm still too far away from everything.
Just gonna hang out?
We'll scoot him up a little bit. 1 more inch. And we'll save the last one. Cool.
All right. I think it's gonna be the one to go now.
Oh boy.
So he's actually... I think what he'll do is he's gonna move forward 1 inch. We're gonna pay 1 energy to step. And then this Moonstone is at a depth of 3, so I'll actually be spending the remaining 3 energy to pick up the stone. And I think to finish his turn, because he's now carrying a Moonstone, we can only jog 2 inches. We will jog 2 inches out of the water. And back on land.
Perfect.
And that's that.
Dry off a little bit. Let's move to this other side of the board here. Let's go with Foxglove. A lot of moving and stepping today. But that's kind of how the first round goes often.
First turn is sometimes slow.
So that's 3 energy for 3 inches of movement. Might as well go the full distance. Do it again, 2 more inches. The last of my 2 energy.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. I'm going to activate Lubard next. As I said earlier, Lubard has trouble, I suppose, motivating himself to do anything. May have something to do with the hood that's over his eyes. He can't see where he's going. So he requires another model to be within 4 inches of him in order to take his jog action. So because Klaus is right here, he'll be able to take his full 4-inch jog. So I'm gonna run right up here next to the stone. And then we're going to spend his 2 energy that he has to take this stone at a depth of 4 and drop it down to 2. And that will be his turn.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go with Diana. Take her jog. All right. 3 more will get me right in touch with that stone. And thankfully, this Diana is enraged, so she does not suffer the same fate the rest of the fairies do, which would be weakling, meaning they have a debuff on both of their melee attacks as well as harvest actions or digging the moonstones. So that moonstone's at a depth of 2. I will spend 2 energy to harvest it.
All right. Is that it for
That's all she has.
Okay. Let's move on to Klaus. We want him right up here with Lubard. Perfect. We're right in range of that stone. So we're going to bring him up to that stone. He will... You know what? He will dig it up all the way. Pick that stone right up for himself. Then we'll use our remaining energy just to step 1 inch forward. He's a little bit closer to Foxglove. Perfect. Over to you.
All right. I think it's time for Noel to move. So. Whoops. Noel's going to take a jog. Move over to here. And then I will take another 2 inches of movement with my remaining 2 energy. Get him set up.
Okay. All right. So my last activation will be Callista. She's going to start by taking her jog action, 4-inch jog here, all the way up to there. And I think actually what she's going to do as well is I'll take and spend my remaining 3 energy to take 3 steps at 1 inch each. That will clear off her energy and her activation is complete.
Perfect. Last but not least is Silver Tongue. So that's the 4-inch jog. And then what I will do is I will use one of the active abilities, Mind Control. And this costs 3 energy, and it has a range of 6 inches. So what I do is I'm going to target my Diana model and immediately take an action that would otherwise cost 1 energy. I'm going to use that to step her forward. Sort of off to the side. Perfect. You'll see why I'm checking that distance in a couple seconds. And I'll use the last 2 energy. No, I won't. I'll actually save it. So, ready for the next triad?
Yeah. So end of all of the activations. Now everybody's a little bit closer. It's sometimes a slow first turn. Lots of just picking up moonstones and positioning and getting ready for things to really take off here on night number 2. Last thing that we do after the first turn is now over, first night has ended, is every single model will go through the replenish step, in which we will replace all the energy that they used during this turn. I think Joey has one model that will actually have 1 less energy this turn.
Yes, I indeed do. So, because Belladonna took some damage, normally on the replenish step she would replenish 5 energy. However, the 2 damage knocks into one of the health bars that also denotes how much energy they get, meaning I only get 4. Alright, and the reason I was checking that distance, Diana Enraged has a vortex of power, meaning that all other models after the replenish step within 3 inches suffer 1 wound and lose 1 energy. For each one they suffer, Diana will restore wounds, and she will also take those energies. So both Butterfingers and Silver Tongue are going to suffer 1 damage, lose that energy, but it's going to go right to Diana. Perfect. So now, Diana's starting the turn with 7.
Ready to roll off for round 2?
Let's do it.
All right, night 2 roll off begins with a roll off just like the beginning. However, because Joey had it. Oh no, actually, I had it. I went first, so that means I will actually get +2 to my roll. Not that I need it here. I have a 5 anyhow, so I will be going first. Perfect. All right, first activation. Let's start with.
I actually forgot to do something as well.
Oh, go ahead.
Remember how I said Noel likes to be alone? If nobody's within 3 inches of him at the start of the round, I'll gain an energy.
All right. Let's get right into it here. All right, we're gonna have Callista take her 4-inch jog all the way into base contact with Belladonna.
Okay.
So let's do some melee combat.
Perfect.
I'm gonna spend an energy to attack Belladonna. Let you do the honors.
All right. So one of the great things about this game is that anytime combat or arcane spells are cast, we actually use a deck of cards. The melee cards you'll see in a second have a rock paper scissors mechanic. So there are certain defensive moves and certain offensive moves that the characters have at their disposal. There are also signature moves, and hopefully we'll be able to get some of those done because they are a little bit more powerful and have end-step effects, which allow you to do a lot of really fun things.
Indeed.
So, the way we figure out how many cards each of us are getting is by the melee stat that's on the card. So, what is Callista's melee stat?
Callista's is 3, but because I'm attacking, I will get an additional 2 cards.
5 over to you. Belladonna actually has a base set of 4, so I'm not that disadvantaged right now. Each player goes through their hand of cards, selects one, and then we essentially face off. we play it face down, and when we're both down, flip it over, and we'll see how it resolves. Ready?
Oh, you got 2 too. All right.
Okay.
So we both played a critical hit. So if you have more, there's 3 of each attack and 3 of each block in the deck of melee cards. When you draw, if you have doubles or triples, you can play them both at the same time, and that's a critical hit. So what will happen is we'll actually, once we calculate how much damage will be dealt by each person, because we both have a critical hit, we'll each be multiplying our result by 2. So because Joey played a rising attack, I can look down the column on my card, and I will be dealing 2, but also suffering 1 damage. And if you look on his card under thrust, you'll see that it's exactly inverse, showing that, the exact same thing. Hence the rock, paper, scissors mechanic. So because I've done 2 damage with this card, it'll be 2 times 2. And Callista actually has a bonus to piercing damage. At the top of every melee card is the damage type for that card. So thrust is a piercing attack. So she will, after she's calculated how much damage she's done from the cards, she will add an additional 1. So I'll be hitting you for a total of 5 damage.
Okay. So for damage that I will be dealing to you, it's the 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. But Belladonna's a weakling, so all my melee attacks suffer -1. So you're only going to be taking 1 damage. And unfortunately, that is it for Belladonna.
I will denote my 1 damage. Belladonna's been removed.
Belladonna is slain and removed from play.
Okay. Now, because she's died, Callista actually has an ability where when another model dies within 4 inches of her, she actually gains an additional energy. So I think now what we're going to do is we're going to set our sights on Butterfingers here. We're going to move 1 inch forward. Okay, 1 energy for that. And then we will spend 1 more to attack him as well.
Oh boy. I'll let you deal this time.
Yeah, no problem. Alright, how many, what's his melee stat?
3.
3. And when we're dealing out the melee cards, we always deal the attacker out first, because there will be certain situations where in a prolonged melee combat where we draw a few hands and make a few attack actions, the deck will eventually run out of cards because you don't reshuffle after every attack if you're still in combat with somebody.
Ready?
Ready? Yeah. Low guard. Cool. Okay, so we both selected low guard. And the reason that I selected low guard is because Callista's signature move is actually on a low guard. So on the back of the card, each character has a signature ability that upgrades from one of the melee card actions. So Callista's is called Slip into Shadows. So it shows the change in damage. Sometimes there can be a change in the damage tree. In this situation, there is not. But then there's an end step effect, which happens after damage has been dealt by both parties. This effect then activates, which Slip into Shadows, the end step effect is to place this model within 4 inches. I will take that 4-inch free movement, bring myself in base contact with the Fairy Queen, Diana. And we can actually leave these off to the side, Joey, because I'm going to spend my last energy to attack Diana. So we will put these melee cards off to the side, and I will draw my 5 cards. So I'm the attacker, so I will get my cards first. And
I also get 5.
Diana gets 5, which will actually use up the rest of the cards. Ready?
I am.
All right.
Double critical hit again.
Yes. Rising attacks versus sweeping cuts. So when you play sweeping cut and I play rising attack, we are each dealing 2, but then suffering 2. So I will deal a total of 5 damage again.
So, I'm going to do that same opportunity to upgrade my Sweeping Cut to the Magical Maelstrom. So, because you played Rising Attack, I will still deal 2, multiplied by 2 for the critical hit, and then I have an end step effect. The end step effect is that all other models within 2 inches suffer 2 magical damage, and then all other models are moved 1 inch directly away. Okay?
Which doesn't look like it necessarily applies to anybody. Wait. Is it other models?
Callista.
Well, it's other models, right?
Other than Diana.
Oh, you think... Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Cool.
So you will...
Alright, so what am I suffering total?
Total. So 4 for the melee damage. And that would be it. And then so just the... And so you're going to be taking a total of 6.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And moving 1 inch directly away.
Down to 1, and she moves directly back 1 inch. And she's got Diana for 5 before she leaves. Alright. And that's it for Callista. She can't do anything else.
Not too bad, not too bad.
Here, I'll give you these.
Thank you so much. Alright. So, kind of forced my hand here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and activate Diana.
Okay.
But first, what we will do instead is spend 3 energy to cast Petrify.
Uh-oh.
So that is a spell with a 6-inch range. So the target's going to suffer X plus 2 magical damage, and the X is denoted by the arcane cards that we will be using. And then cannot perform a jog or step action until the end of the turn.
Okay.
So, similar to the melee deck, we're going to use the arcane deck. This one has 3 different colors, green, blue, and pink. Some people refer to it as red, but it looks pink to me. There are 3 numbers, 1, 2, 3. In the deck, there are 1 of each color 3, 2 of each color 2, and 3 of each color 1. When you deal the arcane, it goes off of my arcane stat, so I will be getting 6 cards.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as the resisting player, whoever that may be, in the case of a 3 or 4 person game, that person always will draw 6 cards as their resist hand. This kind of gives me an opportunity to see some of the cards in the deck and try and figure out what cards Joey has.
Right, because this is one of my favorite mechanics in the game, especially playing fairies. You have the opportunity to bluff. So, I place down a pink 3.
Do you have a pink 3? You know what? I'm gonna call the bluff because I'm dead either way. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call your bluff.
Okay. Unfortunately, I was not bluffing.
Okay, so it is the pink 3.
So it is the pink 3.
All right.
That being said, because Pete called my bluff and I was not bluffing, I have the opportunity to cast the same spell again at no cost.
Right. With another card in your hand.
With another card in my hand. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone else is close enough. So I won't be doing that.
Not anyone you want to hit.
Not anyone I want to hit. So, at the end of this, you are going to be suffer 5 magical
that
damage.
is totally enough. Callista's has been lifted.
Okay.
She's gone.
Perfect. So I'll take the rest of these. Put those back. Now I got stuff to do. Now, Diana's still carrying that Moonstone. So her jog's limited to 2 inches. We're a little further up, and I have 4 energy to play with. Just gonna check real quick and see how far I have to be away from Klaus. Looks like I just need to step once more. So I will take 1 more inch of movement for 1 energy, and I'll do the same thing again. Spend my last 3 to cast Petrify on Klaus.
So, you're getting 6, correct?
Yes.
3, 4, 5, 6. I will take 6 to resist. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Whenever you're ready. I'm good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pink 3.
Twice in a row.
And I like to bluff.
No, I'm gonna call it again. Yeah, well, that's how that goes.
Once more 5 damage coming your way.
Ouch. Okay.
Now that I'm still within range, I will choose to play it again. Pink 1.
Oh. And this is 1 plus 1?
1 plus 2.
Oh, well, I have to call the bluff. I'm gonna die either way.
Unfortunately, I was bluffing.
Thank you. Alright. So, of my cards,
Yes.
I get to play any card that I want to be played instead of this blue one because he bluffed and I caught him. So, instead of the one, you're gonna play Catastrophe.
That's unfortunate. So, that actually... So that means I would suffer 2 wounds and lose 2 energy. That 2 wound would be enough to remove Diana from the table. However, she's carrying this Moonstone. That means I have to drop the Moonstone at a depth of 1 within base contact. She is removed.
I'll take this. Alright. Thank goodness for that. She is scary. Alright, so I think next, for my next activation, let's go up here on the hill. I'm gonna have the Revenant start running towards Noel here. So he's gonna take his 4-inch jog, which will put him within an inch of Noel. And then we will start off by casting an arcane ability. It costs 2 energy, called Eternal Chill. So the Revenant will draw 1, 2, 3, 4 arcane cards.
Plus 2.
Oh.
So Noel has an evade stat of plus 2. Meaning he is a big target, very easy to hit. You get 2 extra cards to your hand.
So I'll be drawing 6 cards instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for you as well for your resist hand.
Okay. What color are you looking for?
I am looking for blue X, so anything blue. Oh. That's going to be a blue 3.
Fortunately, Noel has a lot of health, so I'm going to let you go ahead and take it.
Okay. So if nobody calls the bluff, the card will go back in the deck, and no one will ever know if I was or was not bluffing. We will just resolve it as a blue 3. So that means that Noel will take X magical damage, so 3 magical damage, and gains slow until end of turn, which means that his jog actions will only be 2 inches should he choose to jog. However, because the Revenant is within 1 inch of Noel, they are locked in engagement right now. So the only way that Noel could move away from the Revenant, should he choose to, is by taking the step action before he can then jog. I'm going to spend the Revenant's last energy to try and fight Noel.
Okay.
So I've got a melee stat of 3.
Okay. So there's your 1, 2, and 3. You are the attacker, so you'll get an additional 2.
Yep.
I, on the other hand, will only be getting 2.
Now, one fun thing about the Revenant, he is the undying model. He is a ghost. So he has seen it all before, meaning before we choose our card for combat, I actually get to take a peek at your hand, so I can see what I'm up against here. Okay. All right.
I think you'll be doing just fine.
Yeah. All right. That's very handy to know. You ready?
Yes.
Rising attack. So because you played a high guard, I'm going to deal 2 to you and suffer nothing.
Okay. I will mark that 2 off on the card.
And that will end the Revenant's activation.
Perfect. I will activate Null. I like to be a little bit more reactive. So, as you said before, we're engaged in a melee combat. I cannot jog. So, I unfortunately have to spend 1 energy to take a step away. Back up that guy. However, my melee range is 3. So I will spend 1 to go ahead and attack the Revenant.
Okay. So because he is outside of my melee range, but he is within his own, that means as the defender, I can still use my guards to negate damage, but if I should use an attack that would result in him receiving any damage, it does nothing. So how many cards? 4?
4, please.
All right.
2 plus 2.
I will just get my 3 cards this time. Yeah, let's do it.
Ready?
Yep. All right. So it's a rising attack. So since I played sweeping cut, even though I crit, it doesn't really apply here. So Joey won't take the 4 damage that I would have done if he were in my engagement range, but I will receive the 2 from him.
Yes. And Null uses an old staff, so anytime I deal piercing or impact damage, it's going to be an additional 1.
Okay, so that's a total of 3.
You can leave those cards out because we're going to do it again.
All right.
That's my last energy for Null.
3. Alright, so 2, 3, 4 cards again. 3 for me.
Ready?
Yep. Thrust. Oh boy. Okay, so I chose thrust because it is actually what activates signature. Oh, you too.
Might as well.
All right, so mine is called Destiny Fulfilled, and as before, it really the damage is not applicable. It would change my damage to 4, which is huge. And then it has an end step effect stating that if the enemy is slain, this character is removed from play, which won't happen.
Right.
Because I can't do any damage to you.
Right. And my upgrade is called Bog Off. So I will move the enemy model 1 inch directly away from me
Okay.
and deal no damage.
Oh, it takes away your.
Takes away my damage.
Oh, all right.
I just want you to get out of there.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, so I will move the Revenant 1 inch directly away from Noel.
Alright, and that's it for me.
Okay. And so next, I think I want to activate the Wendigo. He's going to take his 4 inch jog. And then he will actually cast Mind Control, which allows anybody within 6 inches to make take an action available to them that costs 1 energy or less. So he's actually going to target Zoria and have her just take the step action. She'll move 1 inch forward. And he'll take his last energy just to move 1 inch. Right by the bridge here.
Perfect. Alright. So, my turn. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Perfect. We are going to activate Silver Tongue. I'm going to take my jog, but I'm only going to go the 3 inches. Just to stay right there. And then what I'm going to do is I will spend 2 to cast Whispered Secrets. And that's going to be on Foxglove. So 2 energy. I'm going to go over here.
Is this arcane?
This is arcane.
Okay.
So my arcane stat is 5 for this one. Target friendly fairy will gain X energy and restore 1 wound. And that's on a pink card.
Okay. So even though I am not the target of the ability, every arcane action in the game requires a resisting player or someone to hold the resisting hand to make sure that Joey's actually going to successfully cast the spell that he's trying to cast.
Okay?
Yep.
That's a pink 1.
Okay. I'm going to let it go through.
Perfect.
Let it go through this time.
So that means that Foxglove will gain 1 energy and restore 1 wound. But I have Fairy Mischief. That being said, anytime a fairy within 6 inches of Silvertongue bluffs, I reveal the card, and this character, meaning Silvertongue, gains 2 energy and restores all of his wounds. So that
Tricky,
effectively negates anything that's happened to him. And now we have 4 to play with. So, we are going to spend 2 energy to jog up to this Moonstone. Okay. And Silvertongue is feeble. So, again, that means costs me more to harvest the Moonstone. I'll spend the last 2. Pick up that one that Diana dropped.
Alright.
Now I have it again.
Is that it for Silvertongue?
That's all he has.
Okay. Moving forward, let's activate Zoria now. So she's carrying a Moonstone, so her jog action is reduced down to only 2 inches. So she will take her 2-inch jog. Then I think we will have her take 1 step action for 1 additional inch of movement. Help negate that being slowed by the Moonstone carry. And then I'm going to spend her last 2 to cast, or to use the active ability Visions of the Future. So any model within 8 inches, I can make them suffer a catastrophe on their card. Could I see those 2 cards just so I can decide who's gonna... Oh, not quite. Alright, so Butterfingers actually has a catastrophe on his card. Oh, that's switched. That says he loses all energy. So I'm going to choose that catastrophe, so he cannot activate this turn now.
He can jog.
Well, he can jog.
All
Sorry.
he wants.
He can jog, but that is all he has available to him, and that is it for Zoria.
Perfect. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and activate Foxglove. We got that nice little secret energy from Silvertongue. We are going to spend 3 to cast Atrophy on Klaus.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be Arcane, if you don't mind just handing me those cards.
Yeah. Give him a quick shuffle.
And for this one, I'm looking for a pink card, and you'd suffer 2x magical damage. 2 times whatever card I have.
Okay. What are you after? 6?
3.
Just 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
All right.
Pink 3.
Pink. Oh, again with these 3s.
It's very rare that you get that many 3s in multiple successive
And that's
casts.
what makes it so suspicious.
I like to bluff.
Does he have that thing where if he lies,
He's a trickster, and then any fairy within 6 inches of Silvertongue will also trigger that.
is 3 times 2.
6 magical damage.
I'm just gonna take it.
Okay.
I don't want it to happen twice.
Alright.
Alright, so Klaus will take
6 damage.
6 damage. And that will be it for Klaus. Oh, before I lift him. Now that Klaus is dead, I have to drop. Oh, shoot. Screwing it up here. He has tub thumping.
Do you drop before tub thumping or?
Doesn't say.
Okay.
So
We'll keep it.
your action is done. Okay, so now because Klaus has lost enough wounds to die, we're gonna use the tub thumping ability. So what will happen is I'll take the arcane deck and I'll flip the top card. Green 1. So because it's a green 1, it will remain in play with 1 health remaining.
Okay.
Right where he is. Lucky Klaus. Alright. That's it for Foxglove.
I mean, I have more to do.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
So I was going to spend my last 3 to cast Atrophy on Lubar.
Oh, so you can do it multiple times in a turn?
I
Ouch.
can.
Brutal. Okay.
That's why I gave him the energy.
Alright, what did you say your
3,
arcane
please.
was? Yeah. So Lubard is a giant, so he has an evade stat of +2, so you'll be getting 2 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Pink 1.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
Yep, I'd rather just take the...
I was bluffing. So, that means I would gain 3 energy.
And I take 2 damage, correct?
2 damage.
Yeah.
2 magical damage.
2. Alright.
That lovely 3 energy allows me to do this once more.
Of course.
We'll do it on Lubard again.
Okay. Shuffle here. 1, 2, 3.
Pink 1.
We'll call it. Better be wrong with the fairies.
That means I can cast it again, but I'm gonna choose not to.
Okay, so
I'm gonna let you play the game.
I'll take another. I'll take another 2 wounds here, and we will actually. We're gonna move right into Lubard's turn.
Okay.
Because he's not happy about that. So because Klaus is next to him, he can jog his 4 inches. Go right up to there. Which puts us within an inch of Foxglove. Wonderful. That's where Lubard likes to be. Okay. Spend 1 to initiate melee combat. Lubard will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards.
I need 3, please.
Foxglove gets 3. Now, Lubard is a predictable combatant. So before combat can begin, I have to take and show Joey my hand so he can see what's going on here.
All right.
Got it?
I got it.
All right. So, let's see here. Okay, ready? Ooh, all right. So,
With your rising attack against my sweeping cut, we're gonna do 2 damage to each other. However, I played that critical hit, so mine's gonna be multiplied by 2.
yes, and I will actually be adding 2 because I'm doing impact damage.
Okay. So you're
Everybody's
gonna.
taking 4, right?
You will be taking 3 because
3.
Foxglove is a weakling.
Got it. Okay. And you will take 4. Cool. Let's put all those melee cards aside. Because we're going to go one more time. Lubard will spend his last energy. He only has 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3.
3. Oh. Predictable combatant. You can see which one I'm going to pick.
I know which one you're going to pick. Thank you so much.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
So, we get to show everybody what a follow-up action is. So Joey's played Thrust. So on Sweeping Cuts card, under Thrust, there's a 0, but it's highlighted with yellow. Whenever you see a yellow symbol, that means I get to take a follow-up attack. So I get to play any card from my hand, including crits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I can critical hit. So as we saw before, I have 2 falling swings. So Joey, because he played Thrust, I'm dealing 0 damage times 2, so still 0. But I will then get to add my bonus that I usually get, which is 2 damage increase to impact. So you'll be taking 2.
Perfect. All right. You have slain another one of my fairies.
Ubar doesn't like fairies.
No, I can imagine he doesn't. They play too many tricks on him.
So send those over there. Perfect. And that is that's it for him.
That's it for me.
Oh, you have nobody else to activate?
I have no one else left.
Okay, so I will activate Klaus then. Because he is the only guy left. Alright, so yeah, Klaus is going to take his 2-inch jog back this way to the stone. And then he will spend all 3 of his energy changing this stone at a depth of 4 to a depth of 1. And that is my turn.
Perfect.
Alright, night 2 is over, so everybody can replenish all the energy that they used. And roll for initiative.
Then I'm just going to check to make sure that I effectively move myself out of your... Nope. No, right, because I hit you. So I'm still within 3, meaning I don't get that extra energy on Noel.
Okay, so because I won the roll-off last time, I had initiative. So on night 3, I don't get a bonus of +2. I only get a bonus of +1 this time. So there will be +1 on my roll. So 3, doesn't matter. Joey's going
I get to go
the
first.
5. The fairies will go first.
Perfect. All right. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to activate Silver Tongue. He is going to cast Whispered Secrets on Butterfingers. So that is an arcane ability. Again, looking for that pink card. Trying to give Butterfingers some energy. Okay, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 5 for Silver Tongue. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for that resist hand. I'm sorry, I can't help my face. Pink 3.
I'm going to let it go through.
Okay. So that means it's going to go off as the pink 3 intended. They will restore 1 wound. So Butterfingers is back to full health. And I will gain 3 energy on them.
On Butterfingers.
On Butterfingers.
Oh, he is flush with energy right now.
He is absolutely buzzing. So now I still have some things I can do with Silver Tongue. What I'm going to do is I will spend 3 energy to then mind control Butterfingers and take a step closer to that Moonstone.
Okay.
So we'll put him in base contact, ready to dig. And then he will jog back. He's not the best fighter. We'll keep him out of harm's way for now. And that'll be it for Silver Tongue.
Okay. I think so many of my models have lost so many wounds that they don't have much energy. So we're gonna start off with the Revenant, I think. Who's within 3, so he'll take his full jog right into base contact with Noel. And then he will use his only energy to attack Noel 1 time.
Perfect. Do you want me to deal?
Yeah, please.
Alright. What's the melee stat on him again?
3.
Okay, so there's your 1, 2, 3, and then 2 more because you're attacking. And no, a little too.
And because I've seen it all before, you get to show me your hand this time.
Those are the two I'm working
Okay.
with. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Unlucky.
Okay.
Unlucky.
So,
Okay, so the Revenant will take 2 damage, and I will deal nothing. Oh,
you will take...
more?
I apologize. Piercing, yes. So you'll take 3 damage.
3 damage. Okay. Did not quite go the way that he had hoped,
No,
but that's
it
fine.
didn't.
And that's
Take all these back.
that's it for the Revenant.
That's it for the Revenant. Alright. Who of your characters are carrying stones?
Wendigo, Klaus, and Zoria.
Perfect. So... what a beautiful thing. Butterfingers, in his name, has an ability called Butterfingers. So, it costs 2 energy, and I will first target the Wendigo. So this is an arcane ability. I'm looking for any color 3, and that's going to force your character to drop their Moonstone.
And what's your arcane ability?
5.
What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Blue 3.
Bluff.
It is in fact a bluff. Okay.
And that's a catastrophe now.
So the catastrophe is that I discard all that lovely energy that I
Poof,
worked
gone.
so hard to.
Just like that. And that's the power
That's
of the
how the
resist
card's
hand.
dealt.
That's the power of the resist hand, because I have the blue 3.
Yep. So that ends my turn quite quickly.
Okay. Well, the Wendigo is pretty mad that you just tried to do that, so I think he's gonna come pay you a visit.
Okay.
So he'll take his 2-inch jog, because he is carrying that Moonstone. Then, let's see, we have a range of 1. So we are going to have to take 2-step actions to get into engagement. That's fine. And we will spend 1 to attack.
Okay.
So for the Wendigo, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 melee cards. 2,
3.
1, 2, 3 for Butterfingers.
Thank you. Do I have to show you anything?
No, not this time.
Perfect.
Ready?
Yes. Oh wow.
Yeah, rising attack. Falling swing. So, I am gonna
That's the
deal
unfortunate thing.
quite a bit. However, so it's 6 damage you're dealing to me? Or you're a weakling, right? So it's
I am a
less.
weakling, so unfortunately it's only going to be 5.
It's gonna be 5. However, the Wendigo's signature move, Insatiable Hunger,
Oh,
goes off
no.
on a rising attack. So, what happens is, if you play Falling Swing, I will now deal 3 per card. So that will be
goodness.
that will be 6, 7 damage. And then beyond that, after the 7 damage is dealt, the end step effect is if the enemy is slain and this character is not slain, then this character recovers all wounds and all energy, which I
Okay.
believe you're slain.
I am slain.
And because I've taken 5, I am not slain. So
Oh, man.
I will heal those 5 back and go from the 1 energy that I have back up to 4. And Wendigo can continue his onslaught of the fairies. So we will move towards Silver Tongue next. He's the next fairy we'd like to eat. And move 3 inches to there. Thank you. Which puts us within an inch.
Oh boy.
And we will use our last energy to attack. This is a different melee, so we will shuffle the deck
Yes.
again. If I was still in contact with Butterfingers, if he was still alive, I would not get to shuffle all the cards again.
Until we ran out.
Yeah, we would just continue until we run out of the deck.
So if you're in the same engagement is when you wouldn't shuffle the deck. But because Butterfingers was slain, move forward, whole new set.
Correct. And how many for Silver Tongue?
4, please.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right. You ready?
Yes. Oh boy. So the Thrust is one of the scariest cards in this deck, without a
It's
doubt.
very swingy. Yeah, it can do a lot or do absolutely nothing. In this case, it will do 2, 4, 5 damage, and it'll be changed from piercing to magical as a result of the Rending Claws ability from the Wendigo.
5 damage?
5 magical, yes.
Okay. Well, I will upgrade my Rising attack to Threats and Promises, meaning I'm not going to deal any damage back to you. I'm going to reduce the damage suffered by 3. And you gain 3 energy, but you can't target Silver Tongue till the end of the turn.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
So, all said and done, I take 2 damage,
Yes, that is correct.
and you can't target Silver Tongue.
But I
again.
gain 3 energy,
That you do.
which is cool because I'm actually oddly okay that I don't get to kill Silver Tongue. I think instead I will take. I happen to be in base contact with this Moonstone at a depth of 2, so I'll spend 2 of my energy to pick it up, put it on the Wendigo. There are no rules or limits on how many stones a single model can carry, and it doesn't affect the already reduced movement that they suffer. So once they go from 4 inches down to 2 inches on their jog because they're carrying a Moonstone, that's it. It will not go any lower. So we will now take our last energy and just step back 1 inch. Pull ourselves out of engagement. And that's it for the Wendigo.
So we're gonna go ahead, activate Null. It's the last one I can do. So he's already in base contact with the Revenant. We're gonna spend 1 energy. Go ahead and melee attack.
All right. What do you need?
I would need 2 plus the 2 for attacking, so 4.
3, 4. Revenant has a stat of 3. I do get to see your hand because
Okay.
I've seen it all before.
So I'll show that to you.
I've seen all those before. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so I played my Thrust against your Sweeping Cut. So
This will enable me to make a follow-up attack.
yep. I am gonna upgrade that though.
Okay, and I will do. I'm gonna throw the Rising on it, which will let me deal 1 damage to you. Just 1 damage to you.
Okay. I deal nothing to you, you moved 1 inch directly away.
Okay. So I'll move back 1 inch. You'll take 1 wound.
And keep those cards separate because I'm gonna spend my last energy to hit you again.
Okay. Alright, it's about 4.
Yes.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3 for me. Take 1 quick look at your hand. Okay.
Okay. Same thing again. Perfect.
Yep. So I will do nothing this turn,
Okay.
but neither will you.
Okay. That's how it goes.
That's what we like.
I'm gonna upgrade that to
Bog off.
Fog Off.
All right.
Now,
I'll bog off.
doesn't my end step effect also get multiplied?
Yes, it does.
So you'll move yourself 2 inches directly away from me.
I am really far away now. Okay.
So anytime you upgrade to a special move, and if you happen to crit on the initial one, so playing a double or a triple, that multiplication goes for everything on the card, damage and a bit, and
Correct.
any end step effects.
All right. So that's it for him.
And we move into the last round. Unfortunately, I think
No,
this one's gonna be quick.
we are still in round 3 because now since Joey has nobody who has any energy on them, I have full reign of the board. So we will start with Zoria. He's just gonna jog 2 inches because she's carrying a stone. She's gonna use her ability Visions of the Future to force Silvertongue to face one of his catastrophes, which I believe he has
Suffer
one
two
for 2
wounds.
wounds, correct? Yeah. And that's gonna be it for Zoria.
Okay.
She'll keep that last energy. Klaus will use his 1 energy he gets this turn to pick up his stone. And Lubard will...
Can he jog?
No, he can't jog. He is not... Oh, actually, he is within 4 of Klaus, so he can jog.
Perfect.
Lucky him. Alright. However, next turn he will not be able to. Yeah, we're going to kind of wrap right around here. Right to there. And then we will take... Yeah, we're going to actually spend 1 to step. And then we will play an arcane ability with our last energy called Haul In. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So Silvertongue has an evade of -2. So we're gonna take 2 cards right off the top of yours.
All right, so I gotta
He's hard
try
to
and
hit.
I gotta try and hit you with 1 card. All right, so I'm looking for any 2, and if I get any of the 2s, that's a green 2. You will be moved 2 inches directly toward me.
Okay. Unfortunately, I have nothing to back it up, so I'm gonna let that go.
Okay. So Silvertongue will move 2 inches directly towards Lubard, meaning that he is now stuck in engagement with Lubard. And that's it for turn 3. That moves us into night 4, which is the last night. So after the replenish step, we'll roll for initiative again and start it all over.
Okay. It's taking you quite a bit longer to replenish your energy compared to me.
Yes. Fortunately, a lot of folks. Oh, the Revenant doesn't get any energy this turn.
Uh-oh.
He has 1 wound left and no energy. Right, so we'll roll off. Now nobody gets a bonus.
Nope,
On
it's
night
the last
4.
night.
Doesn't matter. Joey's gonna take it.
We'll go ahead and go first. Fortunately, there's not too much I can do here. What I'm going to do is I'll take a jog with Noel, move him a little bit closer so that I can hit you, but you can't hit me. Okay. Then we're actually going to spend all 3 of these to cast Trollish Remedies on the Revenant. So, this one I have an effect for any card I play, essentially. What I'm going to look for here is going to be the pink one. So I'll have you suffer X wounds and then gain 1 energy.
You'll gain 1 energy, or I will.
You will.
Oh. Okay.
It's a remedy.
Fantastic. Okay.
So.
So you're looking for how many?
I need 4 arcane cards, please.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Pink one.
Okay. I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
Usually that would be a bad thing.
Yes.
Because any other character, when they're reduced to 0 wounds, dies and is removed from play. However, with the Revenant, he has the Undying ability. So when he hits 0 wounds, which he just has, he actually dies and then is immediately regenerated with all of his wounds returned. And typically that would he wouldn't gain any energy back. But
You got one.
Noel has actually given him 1. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And is that it for Noel?
That's it for Noel.
Okay. So we will go ahead and dive in with the Wendigo. He's going to jog up his 2 inches. And it looks, unfortunately, like he's going to have to step an extra inch to get into combat. Just fine. And then he'll spend 1 to swing at Silvertongue. Perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards to 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Thank you.
Okay, you ready?
Yes. Okay.
Oof. unlucky for me. So you'll deal 2, and I will deal nothing.
Believe it or not, I'm actually not going to deal that much because I'm going to reduce all melee damage dealt by my character by 2. But then anytime it's piercing damage, I get 1. So you're going to take 1 whole damage.
1 damage.
Yep.
Okay. That's fine with me, and I'll take all those cards because we're gonna go ahead and go again.
Perfect.
Take the 1. I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Alright, so now I'll take burn an energy on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the deck.
That's the deck.
Nothing again.
Okay, and you'll take that 1.
Okay, so I'll take the 1. So this time, for the Wendigo's last attack, I will actually shuffle all the cards back in since we've burned through the entire deck. Start fresh on this one.
Silvertongue's trying to escape here.
Yeah, he's not going to make it out. Not if the Wendigo has anything to do with it. Alright. 6. Alright.
Nothing again. No, wait. I'm
Nope.
sorry.
Yeah, no.
I read that wrong.
Yeah, so I'll be dealing 2, 3 damage.
I'll be dealing 6 minus 2, so for a total of 4.
Okay. So just what is this 3 damage? Oh, I'm gonna upgrade to my my
Your signature?
Yes, which I'll just double check to make sure it doesn't change our tree here. You played falling, correct?
I did.
Okay, so I actually now do 7 damage.
And that definitely takes out Silvertongue.
Okay, and then Wendigo regains all of his energy.
Alright. And that being said, Silvertongue dropped his Moonstone. Noel is no longer carrying one and cannot activate, meaning you take the game.
That's it. Wonderful game, sir.
Great game.